Hello and welcome to Friday's Masterclass edition of Cracking the Cryptic. This is the episode every week where I do battle with the Times Cryptic crossword, which today has a brutal rating. There's an unofficial rating of the Times, of the difficulty of any Times crossword. It's called the Times Crossword Snitch. You can search for it on Google. And it's very, very cleverly done, but effectively it rates how hard a puzzle is by reference to all the puzzles for like the last 20 years or something. And this puzzle is, it's in the two hardest of the last couple of years. So it's properly difficult. The only one that's definitely harder than this is one we did about a month and a half ago, that was the worst one for a decade or something. So this is meant to be actually very difficult. Let's have a look at the stats. So I think the first two are typists, believe it or not. Even the typing speed is not very realistic. So Verlaine is the first real time there. Matthew Marcus won the Times Crossword Championship 2023, 11 minutes 38. Now, I'm guessing Matthew's average time is, I don't know, 5.5 minutes. I might be doing a small disservice there, but something of that order. Misty Gris is real as well, nearly 13 minutes. Oh, I tell you what, we might find people with lots of errors getting into the top 100. Look. Oh, you see, I think PNMCG might be that might be Colin Thomas. One error. Andrew Fisher, one error, 11 minutes. Two errors getting in. I mean, hang on. There isn't a top 100. There's only a top 58. Oh my goodness. Okay, this is going to be properly difficult. Not even 100. Well, so hang on, let's go back. How many people have actually solved it then? Actually solved it without error? At this point, 45. Well, I do hope I can make that 46, but I'm far less confident than I was. Anyway, it's going to be exciting, whatever. Now, what can I tell you about before we kick off today? I might get a phone call during this. I hope it won't happen, but anyone who watched the the Sudoku video yesterday will know that my car is in the garage and I'm expecting a call. I got an email during the video yesterday telling me how much the car was going to cost to mend. I'm hoping today that the car will be mended and I'll be able to go and get it, but let's see. And Mark asked me to mention, I sometimes forget to mention this, we have our Patreon, which is like our puzzle club. It's a couple of bucks a month to join us there, and there is extra crossword content over there, including every single month Mark has a go at the Times Club monthly special, which is a brutally hard cryptic. It's got horrible vocabulary. Mark tries to do it without a dictionary, which seriously is, if you know a bit about cryptic crosswords, it's an incredibly impressive thing to watch. So I do recommend that to you. Then I'm going to say a very well done to one of our viewers, Jade, who finished for her first cryptic crossword this week. That was brilliant, Jade. Very well done. I'm going to say a happy birthday to Matt from your wife, Dorothy. And Dorothy says she hopes you get lots of chocolate cake, as indeed, Matt, do I. But I think Dorothy has rather more agency in that regard. I hope that she's sorting out the chocolate cake for you. Matt's been watching for a couple of months and is now utterly hooked, apparently. That's what I like to hear. And I've been threatening to read this out for a couple of weeks, but Alan in West Sussex wrote to us with a poem that he'd found in a Punch annual from 1953. It's a poem called Yore, Y-O-R-E, by P.M. Hubbard, and I liked it, so I thought I would share it with you. It's quite short, but it has reference to crossword language. So this is the poem Yore. In days of yore, when mud was mire, and blood was gore, and anger ire, and food was fair, and dreadful dire, and cut was pear, and friend was fair, and worry care, and lake was mere, and knowledge lore, and dry was sear, and carried bore, and spoils were Mars. In days of yore they rolled their R's, like thunder or triumphal cars, but we, being too refined to try to roll them, let the old words die. It's pretty good, isn't it? I liked it. Anyway, that's enough of that. I'm going to have to do it now, aren't I? Let's have a look at... Oh, have I got my dictionary? I won't... I'll only use the dictionary to explain. I'm not going to use it to cheat, I hope. Well, when I say cheat, I'm not going to give up and use the dictionary unless I really get stuck, which shouldn't happen, hopefully, but may do today. Anyway, let's have a go. Let's get cracking. By the way, yesterday's Times puzzle as well, I recommend that to you if you haven't checked that out. I thought that was a fantastic puzzle. I wish I could call out who it was by, but of course the Times Cryptic is still anonymous from us, from our perspective, so unless I get tipped the wink, I don't know who constructs them each time. Anyway, one across. Oh, we're about to get visited by a low-flying aircraft as well. Sorry, there might be a tiny bit of aeroplane noise. One across. What may contain mild defect, nothing more for Spooner? What a terrifying clue. We can immediately say that. Let's talk firstly. Well, firstly, a very quick reminder. Every single one of these clues contains a quick crossword definition, almost always at the start or the end of the clue. So if we could read all the clues correctly, we could reduce this puzzle. Reduce is the wrong word, but we could treat it as a quick crossword. It's just going to be very hard to detect where the definition is in each of these clues because they're going to be hard. You know, they're going to be written very cleverly. Now, for this clue, there is this reference to Spooner. And we should talk about that. This is a reference to the Reverend Spooner, who I think existed in about 1900s, and had a habit of switching sort of the first syllable. So if you had a two-word phrase, he would take the first syllable of the first word and put it as the first syllable of the second word, and he'd take the first syllable of the second word and put it as the first syllable of the first word. And that creates lots of opportunities for sort of puns. And cryptic crossword writers love this. So but that almost certainly will be wordplay in this clue, nothing more for Spooner or something. So the definition is going to be what may contain mild defect. What may contain mild defect. And then nothing more for Spooner. So if nothing more was sort of just so, that would become Sussed Joe or something, you know. I mean, it's not right. We can say that for sure. But it could be something like that. I don't know what that is. Let's try this one. Not fed on bananas very much. That's a lovely... it's a lovely surface, not fed on bananas very much. Now, if you want to practice... have a look at this clue and decide what you think the definition is. Remember, it's normally at one side of the clue or the other, so either at the start or the end. Do you think it's not fed or not fed on, or much or very much? Once you've made a decision, right, I'm going to tell you now. I think it's going to be very much. Now, why do I think that? Well, it's because of this word bananas, which on the face of it, remember, I've talked about this before when we do these puzzles. When you read the clue, it conjures up the image of somebody who, you know, I don't know, a chimpanzee who's not fed on bananas very much. It almost certainly has nothing to do with the mental image that the clue projects, because the constructor is playing around with letters. And the word bananas is cool because it can be a noun, meaning lots of the fruit that we eat. But if something goes bananas, it goes mad, doesn't it? So bananas could be an anagram indicator. And not fed on. Oh, well, actually, hang on. Have I got the anagram fodder? I need 7 letters. Not fed on bananas very. Actually, you know what? I don't know. I thought it was going to be very much. So not... Hang on. What's going on with this? This is much cleverer than I realised. Not fed on bananas very much. I mean, bananas must be an anagram indicator. Not... Not fed. On bananas. Very much. Oh, that's terrible. I'm going to try and get 5 down. Once called for a woman. I'm immediately thinking about something you might see in a married woman's name to indicate their birth name, if you like, their birth surname, or rather for someone who listens. Once called for a woman, or rather for somebody who listens. Yeah, I think this is nay. N-double-E. And I think the way we're meant to read this, which is subtle, is obviously this is what you would see in a lady's name, if to indicate, you might see Susan Jones, née Smith, meaning she was Susan Smith and became Susan Jones when married. Now, so once called for a woman would be nay, which I think is the correct pronunciation, which is going to matter here, because, or rather for somebody who listens, you may be thinking, well, what on earth? How are you getting N-double-E from this? And it's a brilliant question. And I am not certain I know the answer, but the way I think it might work is the constructor's getting at a homophone here. For someone who listens, it's referring to somebody overhearing something. So it's a word that might sound like another word, but is spelt differently. So think about the word nay, N-A-Y. What might that mean? And I think that might mean, or rather. You might go nay, it's sort of a light negation. So I think what's happening is nay, N-A-Y, means or rather, but it sounds the same as N-double-E, which is the word that we need, that's being defined by the start of the clue. Now let's go back to this then. This must be no. Not fed on bananas. Oh, very much. No. Not fed. No. Oh. No, I was thinking nil by mouth or something. No, that's wrong. Not. Oh, I've got right. Okay, I've finally got the construction. I've understood the wordplay. Not. The word not is being fed on a banana's an anagram of very. So I think I haven't got this yet, but I think it's going to be that. Oh, hang on, that's no good either. Hang on, I might be wrong. I thought it was going to be the word not fed on bananas very, and the whole thing will be much. No, that doesn't make sense, does it? Because what's this final word? There's nothing we can make. I don't know. Sorry. I still haven't got a clue what that is. That's really embarrassing. Okay, let's try to go one down. Pardon. Received by supreme order. Pardon. Received by supreme order. Okay, so again, let's try, at least initially, and work out what we think the definition is. Is it pardon? Is it supreme order? Is it order? And I'm not sure, but if I was guessing, I would say it would be order. Why do I think it's order? Because we can read the rest of the clue as an instruction. Pardon, if we can think of a word for pardon, that word is received by a word for supreme. So if we can think of a short synonym for supreme, which I can't, that would take, pardon could be like EH or something like that, as in, pardon, I didn't hear you, eh? You might see that in a comic book. Right, so I've now got it. So that's it. A is EH is what we need to think about. That is what pardon is doing here. If you're the supreme at something, you are the best. And that will give us behest. And if you do something at someone's behest, you do it under their order, don't you? So let's go back to this. What may contain mild... What may contain mild defect? Nothing more for Spooner. Is it a reference to something, you know, in a shop that's sort of a bit broken? A Best Buy or something, or budget? I don't know. Okay, let's try 9 across. Okay to occupy hotel, not much food when sharing a cell. Okay to occupy hotel. So again, try and decide what you think the definition is. I don't think that's easy here, but I do think it's more likely to be the end of the clue than the beginning, because again we've got okay to occupy. So we need a word for okay, or even just the word okay itself. To occupy, now I know that hotel can be abbreviated to H, and you might have seen that in the international radio alphabet. You know, if somebody says Romeo on a radio, they mean R. Bravo. Juliet Bravo. That's a blast from the past. Don't know where that came from. But okay, if we go to hotel, H here, we should see it in the dictionary as a valid abbreviation. And it can only be used, you can only use abbreviations that are supported by the dictionary, and now I can't find it. Why can't I see it there? I mean, maybe this is because if we go to actually hotel itself, there we go. In international radio communication, a code word for the letter H. So that is why I suspect that hotel in the clue is this H. Then not much food. What's that? Light? L-I-T-E? Or... And then what would the definition be? When sharing? Sharing a cell. Housemate? I don't know. I mean, the terrifying thing is if it's some sort of chemistry reference, you know, to some sort of, you know, could it end CYTE, hemocyte or something? You know, it's some sort of reference to food that happens within a cell. But I don't know enough about chemistry to know if that's even a thing. Let's try 11 down, 11 across even. What's laid back and unfeeling? Taking diamonds off retired woman. There's a lot going on there. Taking diamonds off retired woman. What's laid back and unfeeling? If you're unfeeling, you're numb, aren't you? But I can't see what that's got to do with the clue. Diamonds can be D from the suit of cards. You might see that in bridge scoring. You know, 1D will mean 1 diamond, or 2D will mean 2 diamonds. So D is coming off something, I think. What's laid back? If somebody's laid back, they are. And then, do I know any words for retired woman? And that might be a woman who's retired from a job, or it might be a woman who's retired as in, if you retire in an evening, you go to bed, don't you? So a woman who's gone to bed, is there a word for that? Don't know. Okay, we're going to have to try and get one of these. I will shackle introduction of merchandise, but not stop trade. I will shackle introduction of merchandise, but not stop trade. For some reason I want that to be embargo. I don't know. I mean, I suppose it's got M in it. The introduction of the word merchandise, the first letter of merchandise is M. But not stop is go. Oh, but hang on. But that then trade, why would... Why would... Yeah, okay, so you can't double use things in clues. So I was thinking, if you don't stop, you go. But of course, that I then lose the definition, which would be to stop trade is to embargo it. So I can't use not stop and then say that the definition is stop trade, because I've used the stop twice there. So I will shackle. That makes you that if that's the definition, it's somebody who ties people up. Introduction of merchandise would be M, but not stop trade. But not stop trade. I have not got a clue what that is. This is a brilliant puzzle. I mean, I know you must be looking at me thinking, this man is an idiot. And I do feel like an idiot, do not get me wrong. But I do enough puzzles that the feeling of being totally stuck on a normal times crossword doesn't happen that often. And when it does, it's because the constructor has been so, has outwitted me. And I like that feeling, actually. Providing I can do it in the end. 3 down. It's a fight the constructor has to lose gracefully. 3 down. Possibly unable to start a fire without peer. Possibly unable to start a fire without peer. I mean, all of these clues are so good because it's really hard to actually even figure out what's going on. I mean, my first instinct here, again, have a thought yourself and decide which side do you think the definition is. I think it might be without peer. If you're without peer, you're sort of peerless, rival-less, possibly unable. Could that be an anagram of unable? To start a fire, light, without peer. Possibly unable. I don't know. Still not getting anywhere with these downs. See red. Oh, well, okay. So I might have been helped there because of the way I started to read the clue. Now, that's probably reasonable technique. So rather than just looking at the clue and going, see red mug on ledge, upset after a jerk. See, what I did was I went see red. So I've immediately sort of, I've given myself the opportunity to see that see red could be the definition. Mug on ledge, upset after a jerk. Well, jerk is an interesting word in a cryptic crossword clue because there's this word tick, which is sort of a twitch or a jerk, and it comes up a lot. So but if that was true, mug on ledge upset after see red. There's so much going on. Because my first reaction was, oh, it'll begin in at then, because it'll begin like this. But if I put that in, at a tick, what's this second word such that this whole thing means see red? I don't like that, actually. I'm not sure. Jerk. I mean, see, this word see as well, that has so many different meanings, one of which is a cathedral town is a C. So could it be Saint something? S-T... it's not St. Albans, but that would be an example of something that would be being defined by the word C. Let's go back to this one. Oh, this was the spoonerism. What may contain mild defect? No. Okay, so we're going to have to go further afield here. Lopped branch remains after incineration. I want that to be brash. What is going on there? Branch can be abbreviated to BR, which is a weird abbreviation to know, but let me just show you that. I'm pretty sure I'm right about that. I don't actually know where that abbreviation comes from. It's not going to be... Oh, there it is there. Maybe it's from sort of a bank branch or something. Or maybe it's from heraldry and family trees. Maybe there's a branch. If you go off on a branch of a family, it might go BR. But BR remains after incineration. Well, that feels like ash, doesn't it? That's what you get after a fire. That would give brash. But does brash define lopped? Not to me. No, but no bar. Don't know. Is an A justifiable here? Further to the right, further down. I haven't got a clue about that one either. It's almost like I'm reading a different language. Feature of knitted, but not is that crocheted? I never know how to say that. Crocheted garment. Feature of knitted, but not crocheted garment. I want that to be a hidden, but I don't think it is. Oh, this is superb. I haven't got a clue what's going on. Female soldiers plough Clarkson's land. So don't think about Jeremy Clarkson. It would be hilarious if it was a reference to Jeremy Clarkson, but I don't think it will be. Female soldiers plough Clarkson's land. What? What? Oh, is it Diddley Squat, his farm? It can't be a reference to that. It can't. Clarkson's land, or maybe there's an author called Clarkson that's not Jeremy Clarkson that I'm not thinking of, and they have a famous land, you know, like C.S. Lewis would have Narnia. If it said Lewis's land, we'd know it was Narnia, but Clarkson's land. What's going on? Female soldiers. I mean, I don't know any words for female soldiers. I feel like that. I think this is going to be the name of a land in some way, or to land, as in to catch a fish or something. And then female might be F. Soldiers have loads of abbreviations. Could be OR. So FOR in the middle of some word for Clarksons. I mean, Jeremy Clarkson, is he known as, is he got a nickname or something? There's a whole chorus. There's a whole chorus of comments coming back at me, isn't there? No, don't be unkind or rude. I find Jeremy Clarkson quite funny a lot of the time. 12 across. Injury time recovery. Oh, injury time recovery from one's side. So again, it's conjuring up an image of football, isn't it? So we must discard that. I think, okay, very unusually, I'm going to have to just flit around in this puzzle and try and find a clue I can get some sort of grip on, because I am not getting anything in this top half. So I'm now going to go from clue to clue trying to spot something. One badly wants to keep butterfly enclosure. I mean, that is such a good clue again. One badly wants to keep butterfly. I mean, short synonyms for butterflies. What on earth? Comma? How many a butterfly? I do know some butterflies. Tortoiseshell. Cabbage white. Red admiral. Swallowtail. Meadow brown. Is that one? One badly wants to keep butterfly enclosure. I don't know what that is either. Edge of pound. Coin assigned this. Originally... Oh, no, not Latin. No, not Latin. Originally Latin as agreed. If this is a Latin phrase, I won't know it. I'm very bad at Latin. I never did Latin at school. Oh, that would disappoint me hugely, because I probably haven't got a chance of finishing the puzzle. I would need the wordplay to be so clear as to what the answer is. And there's nothing that's convincing me that in this puzzle so far the wordplay is simple. That is a big worry. Waiving fine. FA reportedly suspended City. Well, they almost certainly didn't. That's a great clue again, isn't it? Waiving fine. That suggests fine can be abbreviated to F. FA reportedly suspended City. You see, what I want this to be is waiving fine FA seems to me to say take the abbreviation for fine, which is F, from FA. That would give us A. Reportedly suspended sounds like a homophone for if you suspend something, you like hung or something, but obviously that's not going to be long enough. And then we're going to get, so the answer is going to be an 8-letter city. Like, I've got one. It's a brilliant clue, and it's about the first clue, apart from one down, where I've been confident about how the wordplay works. So what I've just described there is correct. And you need to think about an Australian city, and if you thought Adelaide, because delayed, D-E-L-A-Y-E-D, does mean suspended, that is what's going on there. So let's go, oh no, edge of pound. I mean, that could be the edge of the word pound. That would be P or D. So that's probably the D. Coin assigned this originally. Coin. Oh. Actually, if you coin something, you sort of mint it, don't you? So could coin be an anagram indicator? Assigned this. How many letters do we need? We need 14, and the D would be 1. So we need 13 more. Assigned is 8. Okay, so then, yeah, I mean, this is a thought. I don't know, but would be a thought of how we could read this clue. It could be edge of pound, the D. We're going to coin, we're going to anagram assigned this, and I may be miscounting, but I think that's 12 letters. And then originally Latin, could that be L? The original letter of the word Latin? And then the whole thing means as agreed. And that would mean that we might not be looking for a Latin word or Latin phrase. As agreed. Deals, something like deals a deal or something. What's that middle word, if that's right? As or is? I mean, it's possible. I'm not seeing, I can't do the anagram. If that is the correct construction, I'm not seeing the answer. As agreed. It isn't deals, is it? Deals. Oh, it could end in ing. I-N-G. As agreed. I don't know. There's some thoughts there that I'm not able to deconstruct, but at least it might not be Latin, which is a good thing. Numbers. Sorry, 21 across. Numbers following it. Odd cult is minding one's back. Numbers following it. Okay, is this a reference to the Bible? Now, there is a book in the Bible called Numbers, and I'm going to guess Leviticus might follow that. I don't know if that's right. Leviticus. I don't even know how to spell Leviticus. I think it's that, but this vowel I'm not sure about. Now, let's see if the wordplay gives me any comfort. Numbers following it would be the definition. Odd cult is... minding one's back. Is that I've back? Yeah, cult. Yeah, okay. So I think it is. I think this is the correct spelling. One's possessive. See the apostrophe S in the word one's. One's going, or one's had would be the same as I've had, wouldn't it? So IVE is a synonym of one's, and that goes back in an oddly treated cult is. So cult is anagrammed, and it mines, it cossets, it gives a cuddle to I've reversed. I mean, it's still brutally hard, even though I got that one a bit more quickly. And I'm very relieved to get another entry in the grid. But Leviticus, I think, is going to be right. Let's try 24. How house and home end up empty. How house and home end up empty. And how house... Sorry, I realise you must think, why is he just reading it over and over again? I'm just trying to understand. I don't know. I don't know how to read this so that I can detect what the definition is. The word home is interesting. If you're at home, you are in. So I want this to begin in. And that would mean, if that was right, it would suggest that how house or something is the definition, which makes no sense. How house and home end up empty. Okay, how house and home end. They both end in an E. So it's inane, right? Goodness me. Right, I mean, it's a superb clue again, but it's not easy. So how house and home end up is the definition. So you cut it there. No, sorry, it's not the definition, it's the wordplay. So we cut it there and we read it and we think about it and cogitate on it. How house and home end up. They both end in an E, as in the letter E. And then if something is empty, it's inane, it's ridiculous, isn't it? So it's vacuous. So inane is being defined by empty. And the question mark is there because it's brutal. It's sort of very punny, and yeah, you've got to warp your mind to solve it. Let's try 18 down. A delicacy, caviar, one served as a result of being in charge. A delicacy, caviar, can that end in E? I thought it didn't end in E. A delicacy, once served as a result of being in charge. I don't know. It's the short. Let's go on. Complex figure, Electra. Isn't there an Electra complex? Or am I going mad? Destined to take. Yeah, okay. So I think there is something called an Electra complex. In fact, I'm going to stick with Electra as my answer. So let's go and have an explore of the dictionary and see if it tells us what it is. An Electra complex, a strong attachment of a daughter to her father, accompanied by hostility to her mother. Okay. From the Greek story of Electra, who helped to avenge her mother's murder of her father. Okay, I don't know that story, but I have heard of an Electra complex. So, Let's put Electra in. Why is it Electra? Well, if you're destined to take a position, or if you're destined to do something, you are elect. You are the president-elect. You are destined to become the president. And that takes a position beside a god. And this is the god of Ra from Egyptian mythology, I think. Let's go and have a look and see if I've now shown my ignorance again. There we go. Egyptian, the sun god. So Ra is what's going on there. Let's go back to this. We'll go to this. It's criminal taking a newspaper. Well, I think, well, okay, my first thought here is that the answer to this clue is theft. It is theft. Right. Again, even this is a subtlety that's beautiful. It's beautiful. It's criminal taking a newspaper is true. It would be criminal to steal a newspaper. But the beautiful thing here is this word taking, because that is part of the definition. It's criminal taking. Now, it's criminal would do the job, wouldn't it? Something that a criminal activity is theft. But it's criminal taking is just that little, it's that icing on the cake. You know, because if you take something, that is the crime of theft. And then the wordplay is a newspaper. And a newspaper is the FT. And that's really lovely as well, because I think that A is supported. I mean, it's criminal taking newspaper could have been the clue, couldn't it? And then we'd have said newspaper is the FT. But actually, is it? Because isn't the newspaper just called Financial Times? Is it called the Financial Times, or is it called Financial Times? I don't know. I suspect it's called Financial. I don't know, actually. But a newspaper, the FT, is certainly an example of a newspaper, so I'm happy with that. And that's definitely right. So is this deviate? Oh, no, it's not, is it? Maybe it is caviar. A delicacy, one served as a result of being in charge. Okay. If you I want to put care around. Yeah, I think this is caviar. I think there might be an alternative spelling, and I might be wrong, but I think I can justify this from the wordplay. Let me have a go. If you do something as a result of something, I think you do it via it, don't you? VIA. And that's in charge, as in if you have charge of somebody, you take care of them, don't you? So I think care is surrounding via to give a delicacy. One served, as in caviar. Now, I'm not going to change that, but I am going to look it up now before I forget, because I thought, oh, okay, well, there we go. That answers it. It's either spelling. I just didn't know that. But anyway, that's good. Let's go back to this one then. And that's blown up my anagram idea. It has, but I've thought of another possible. Could it be edge of pound, D, coin assigned, that's 12 letters as well, isn't it? This originally would be the 13 letters that we need. And then Latin phrase for as agreed. But what's the anagram indicator? I don't think that works. Ducat is a coin. As agreed. I mean, if Oh, this is going to be. It's going to be a Latin. This is why hardly anyone's finished it. Is no one knows this Latin phrase. Edge of pound. Coin assigned. This originally. Originally could be an anagram indicator. Edge of pound. Sorry, I'm trying to understand. I think this is some phrase that means as agreed, but I'm not sure if it's a Latin phrase or not. As agreed. Look, and this ends in C, and that attic was my idea down there, wasn't it? After a jerk, but why? C red. Mug on ledge. Upset after a jerk. Oh. Okay, well that could be. The jerk could be tick, couldn't it? And then mug on ledge is upset after A. So maybe it begins with A. And it means C red. Oh, I don't know. I don't like that. Mug. C red. Go ballistic would work. Oh, mug is gob, as in your mouth. So your mug is your gob. Then after A, which is this, we've got sill upset, as in a window sill or a window ledge. So sill is upset. After this A, after gob for mug, plus tick for jerk, and C red was the definition, and it is go ballistic. Okay, that's quite hard. Beanbag would now fit here. It may contain mild defect. Oh. Silence brain doesn't fit. It just doesn't fit. Nothing more for Spooner. You see, okay, I mean, given that we've got a Spoonerism going on, that B could be viewed as sort of this thing in a phrase that means nothing more. Something big, maybe. This big. Big. I don't know. What's this one? Oh, this was the food when sharing a cell. Okay. To occupy hotel. Not much food. O table or zero table when sharing a cell. No, I haven't got that one. Okay, I've got an L at the start. Oh, I've looked at this one. Injury time recovery. That's like convalescence from one side. Laterally? Late rally. Oh, that's beautiful. What a beautiful clue. Gosh. An injury time recovery would be if you had a late rally. Or as the guy in Love Actually says, a late surge. So a late rally. From one side, if something comes from the side, it's laterally. Now, is this the something? At least that would give me... No, it wouldn't. Antiques got smashed. Didn't they? No, don't be another Latin thing. Is that something question? I wonder if that's something question. It looks like we've got the anagram. well, I read the clue. I'm definitely thinking if we smash the letters of antiques got, we've got the 11-letter anagram fodder that we need. It looks to me like I can get question, tag question or something. Is that a thing? Is a tag question sort of grammatically something that you tag on to the end of a sentence? I think it must be. I mean, I don't see that can be anything else, unless I've misidentified the anagram fodder in my head, which is possible. But I think tag question is what I go for there. So let's have a look at this. Tag. Oh no, it's not there, is it? Oh, it is. Tag question. An interrogative clause, e.g. can't you? So like, didn't they? Question mark. Added to the end of a statement to invite agreement. Oh, lovely. Oh, now, look at this naughty old Q. When you get a Q in a cryptic crossword, be on the lookout for other weird letters, because the constructor may have gone pangrammatic on us. And may. So, okay, if this was Latin, that would be et, wouldn't it? Is ut. I don't know if ut is also a Latin word, but et is. I think it means and. As agreed. Dulce et decorum est or something. Oh, est. I don't know. Why? They shouldn't put Latin in crossword clues anymore, or crossword answers anymore. It's it's not fair on me. Latin as agreed. So edge of pound. I think that's that D. Coin. I mean, it can't be ducat, can it? For I think I'm just going to have to try and get all the checking letters and then guess for that one. 25 down. Vegetable. P. Like any other, going individually for a song it seems. I mean, how can there be so many words in that clue? What on earth? Vegetable? Like any other, going individually for a song it seems. What? Vegetable like any other, going individually for a song it seems. I don't know. Is that it must I just don't know. I haven't got a clue what that's talking about. Right, let's try another one. Change of ends for rowing crew in late shift. Well, I've thought of a word that would fit here that would be defined by late shift. I think it must. Yes, it's beautiful again, isn't it? Right. Okay. So late shift is what we have to think about here. But of course, being this constructor, we must not think of the late shift as going to work late and sort of working through the night and clocking off in the middle of, in sort of early morning. No. A shift is a word for a dress. So we're looking for a dress that might be worn when it's late, i.e. a nightie. Now, knowing the answer's nightie, or telling you the answer's nightie, see if you can work out why, because even this is very clever. Change of ends for rowing crew, in. Now, the word in would often, for most cryptic crossword writers, be used as an equal sign, sort of an equivalent of an equal sign in the clue, i.e. we do some word play in order to create a word that means late shift. But that's not what's happened here. What we have to do is think of a rowing crew, which is an 8, as in the number 8, and then the word in is important. So we've got the word 8, then the word in, and then we're going to change the ends of those phrases. So the E from 8 goes to the end, and the N from in goes to the start, and that creates the word nightie. It's very, very brilliant setting again. Let's try 15 down. Testing start for Antonelli. Opening out of the pits. Oh, goodness. There is a word that comes up in crosswords quite a lot. I mean, you might see it once every month. And it's the word adit. A-D-I-T. And that is a mine opening. Let me show you it, because it does come up. I don't know why, but it does. So when I see opening out of the pits, I'm wondering if this has got added in it somewhere. Testing. I mean, start for Antonelli. It must be the starting letter of the word Antonelli, I think. So this has probably got A in it somewhere. Opening, so maybe the A is inside. Out of the pits. Out of could be X, and the pits could be... The pits is like the worst, isn't it? A word for the pits ending in G. And the whole thing means testing. Examining. Exmining. Oh, that's beautiful. I mean, I've lucked into that, really. But I have got it, and I'm delighted about that. Yeah, okay, so testing was the definition. It was the A, start from Antonelli, and that was opening, so it was inside, a sort of confected phrase for out of the pits. If you were out of the pits, you would be an ex-miner, you'd be ex-mining. And that's why the question mark is there, because obviously if we look up ex-mining in the dictionary, it won't be there. So it's sort of, it's punning on the fact that if you're ex-mining, you would be out of the pits, so to speak. But that gives us another entry in the Latin one, and it gives us an I in this one. Foul now, unfit for consumption. Foul now, unfit for consumption. Foul. In off? I quite like in off as like a foul in snooker. If something is unfit for consumption, it would be off. Food could be off. So that just requires now to be in. If something happens, is it a sort of fashion reference? If something's in, it's fashionable. It's now. Yeah, okay, I can buy that. I think that's right. So in off I'm going to go for there. Now 20 down. Spent summer in Saint-Tropez supporting blind partner. I mean, again, it's just superbly worded. I haven't got a clue when I'm reading this. What it... Oh, summer in Saint-Tropez. I have got that. I've got one bit. I've got it. I've got this. Oh, God. Is this brilliant? This constructor is a genius with words. I don't know who did this. I mean, this is one of the things. This is why the Times, please, 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 canvass your constructors and ask them whether they would like to have their pseudonym or identified or their name identified with these puzzles, so that they can, be credited. So we could say, well done, Blob, for creating this, because it is brilliant. Right, so summer in Saint-Tropez, believe it or not, is referring, in Saint-Tropez is in France, and in France the word for summer is été. And I think that's going there in this clue. And that supports, so the word été, summer in French, supports a blind partner. And I think that's F, as in effing and blinding. If you're effing and blinding, you're swearing. And then maybe there's a shortened phrase for that, F's and blinds. I don't know, but I'm very sure that that's what that's referring to, is sort of swearing. And that gives it a feat. And if you're a feat, you're weak, you're spent, you're tired. So I'm sure that's right. It's very, very cleverly worded again. Now, this is, I need to get this to have any chance at this Latin one. Wearing down, erodent or something. Yeah, quite like that. Wearing down is it? My first thought was erosion, but obviously that doesn't work with a T at the end. A hare is probably a rodent, but I think that's going to be spelt like this here. Because hare say is saying an example. No, actually it's not. It's going to be used, it's the homophone, isn't it? It's going to be, oh, hang on. No, I've changed my mind then. That would say it's actually that construction. I thought there was a word erodant. I didn't know there was a word erodent. But I think the wordplay is telling me it's erodent. So let's go through why. A hare say. I think a hare is an example of a creature that is a rodent, and that's what the word say is doing there. It's saying, what is the creature, the hare, an example of? It's an example of a rodent. Now, when I first read the clue, I thought say was acting as a homophone indicator, so it was a word that sounded the same as the word rodent, but was spelt differently, R-O-D-A-N-T. But I don't think that can be right. With tortoise finally leads is saying take the final letter of the word tortoise, which is the E, and that's going to lead this construction to give us this word erodent. Yeah, and this all turns on whether simply writing the word hare in a crossword clue can define a rodent. And I don't think the causality is right. If the clue had said rodent, that can define a hare, because a hare is a rodent. But a hare is only an example of a rodent. It doesn't define it. So I think we're looking at this construction. So is this privilege? A right Puritan disturbed by very bad English. A right is a privilege. I'm going to put privilege in. I don't know what. A vile, I suppose, is going on in the middle of that, and that's very bad. Prig. Okay. So, interesting clue. So, arguably, the A at the start of this clue is unnecessary. Well, is that a text message? It's a text message, but it's not from the garage this time, so that's good. So I think a right is a privilege, and that's the definition. Now, if the clue had said right Puritan disturbed by very bad English, arguably it would have worked just as well, and the A is a bit superfluous. But I sort of see what the A is doing. It does make the clue read better, and it's not wrong. A right is defining a privilege. Puritan is prig, P-R-I-G, and that's being disturbed by a word for very bad, vile, and then E for English is this final E here at the end. And so this is desperate to be P, isn't it? Vegetable, like any other, going individually. For a song it seems. What? I mean, what is that talking about? I mean, if this isn't P, that's also a possible reason everyone's getting the puzzle wrong. Vegetable like any other. Has that got some? I'm wondering if PEA is an abbreviation for something. Per going individually, per capita, or person like any other, going individually for a song it seems. P. Is there a song where P's, 1p, 2p? I don't know. What else could it be? What else could it be? It can't be anything else. There aren't any other words, are there? P blank A. P. Vegetable? Going individually. There is Pia, P-I-A. I want to say that's sort of Italian for something like more or much. I'm worried it's a song of some sort. I don't think it is. P-I-A. O-U. Poa is a type of grass, isn't it? Poa greens. I think that is P-O-A, but I don't see any reference to to sort of grass here. For a song it seems. P. Like any other, going individually for a song it seems. That's a very, very worrying one. I'm not at all sure about that E. I don't understand it at all. Oh dear, the phone's now buzzing again. That's still not to do with the garage. So what is this? Have we got any sort of idea? The annoying thing about this sort of clue as well, from the perspective of, competitive solving, is that there is such an enormous advantage. If you know Latin phrases, you can just write this in. I mean, whereas if you don't, it's such a handicap, because you're sort of, well, you're left in the position I'm in here. As agreed, something quits. Originally Latin. Edge of pound. Coin assigned. This originally. So is that T going here? Coin. I don't know. I'm not sure. Now, we did look at this, didn't we? One badly wants to keep butterfly. Butterfly fritillary? Enclosure. Oh, enclosure in a letter is ENC. Could that be ENC? This would end in lick then, probably. Feature of knitted but not crocheted garment. Acrylic? Oh dear. Oh no, I thought that was definitely going to be it, because that was one of my watch things, but no, that's just something telling me about a Guardian article. Let's go. Oh, I thought that was going to be brash. Well, it's not, is it? Lopped branch remains after incineration. Ember? Yes. Okay. So I think a branch is like a member, and you're chopping off a lopped branch. I mean, I'm not certain, actually. I think branch is a synonym of member, and then if you chop, but if you lop something, you tend to take the end off it rather than the beginning, but I think that's ember. The remains after incineration would be an ember. Let's see if B would be right. Further to the right, further down, baser. you're further down, you're more towards the base. Further to the right. I don't like that. I think it's wrong. Now, if this E was correct, not fed on bananas very much. No end. No end to. There's no end of. No end of? No end of. Quite. Oh, so hang on. Have I just miscounted the anagram? I don't know. No end of. I quite like for very much. I've got no end of, you know, words to complete this crossword, except unfortunately, why is it no end of? It looks, hang on, what's going on? Not, you see, so I see, so not is being used for no, is it? And then fed on bananas. Yeah, that's really hard. So not and no are synonymous, are they? I suppose. Probably. And then, so then fed on is anagrammed at the end to give no end of very much. I'm not sure about that. I mean, it's probably fine. I'm sure there are meanings of, you know, these negations, not and no, that are where they are synonyms of each other. I'm just not thinking of one at the moment. Definitely not, definitely no. I suppose they would be, that would have the same meaning, wouldn't it? Right, let's have a look at 8 down. Oh, female F. Okay, soldiers, plough, clerks. Oh, this is... What is this then? Land. Clarkson's land. But I thought it was diddly squat, didn't I? I've had an hour and 12 minutes. I've probably done half the puzzle. 7. Okay, 7 down. Feature of knitted but not crocheted garment. Feature of knitted. Oh. Okay, so I wonder if this is going to be another of these clever ones like in and E. So it's going to be a feature of the word knitted, but not a feature of the word crocheted. So what's that going to be? Double T, doublet. Oh, jeepers creepers. I mean, that is, I mean, it's brilliant. It's brilliant. So crocheted has got a single T, knitted has got a double T. So the feature of knitted that crocheted doesn't have is the double T, and a doublet is a garment. I'm very pleased to even solve that, I have to say. Right, further to the right, further down. Oh, bluer. Yeah, well, that's very clever. Okay, so there's sort of there's two things going on here. If you're further to the right, certainly this probably is a bit of a British clue, because on the right side of British politics, the Conservative Party, who are traditionally associated with the colour blue, but in America, aren't the Republicans more associated with red, and they're on the right? So this probably doesn't work at all if you're watching this from the States, but let me know if I've got that wrong. So bluer in Britain is further to the right politically. And if you're further down, as in you're sadder, you're more blue, you're bluer. So that's going to be correct. And now what's this one? Ferryman. For what on earth? Soldiers plough Clarkson's land. Female soldiers. Female soldiers plough Clarkson's land. I'm trying to think of the name of... I don't know, I just don't know. Oh, my enclosure idea has gone wrong. Something centre? A butterfly enclosure? One badly wants to keep. Hoarding, somebody who hoards things. To keep. Butterfly. Insect. Something collector. One badly wants to keep. Butterfly. Enclosure. Swimming. Swimming centre. That's not right. Female soldiers. Plough. Yoke. Yoke isn't to plough, is it? Yoke is what you do to oxen to attach them to the plough. Clarkson's land. 4. Soldiers could be OR here. I mean, that is something I am aware of. It's in other ranks, I think, so is the abbreviation. So female, other ranks for soldiers. Then we need a word for plough to give overall Clarkson's land. Plough. Blank Y. The plough. I'm trying to think of it. I really hope it's not another Latin reference to what's going on, like the the stars in the sky are called the plough, aren't they? Do they have a Latin name? Clarkson's land. Don't know. Okay, alright, so we've got the Latin we don't know. I think I need one more up here, and then I might be able to use the checking letters to get a bit further. I will shackle introduction of merchandise, but not stop trade. I will. It could be I'll, I-double-L. Or it could be I shall or something with M in the middle of it. But not stop trade. I will. If you will something, you're testate, aren't you? But not stop trade. Shackle introduction. Introduction of merchandise, but not. That must be M. There must be an M going on some. I mean, if M was at the start, what may contain mild defect? Bugbear or no, it's not that. What may contain mild defect? Nothing more for Spooner. What may contain... Sorry, and I know this must be annoying for some of you who've managed to solve all this. It's annoying for me to not be able to solve it. Let's go back to this one. Okay to occupy hotel. Not much food when sharing a cell. When sharing a cell. Habitable or something. Okay. Okay. Oh, okay to occupy would be habitable. Why though? Hotel. Not much food. A bit. Oh my goodness. I mean, this is vicious. It's vicious. Okay. So one of the things I do know about anatomy is that there is something called a T cell. I've no idea what a T cell is. In fact, I think I once had an ECG when they said I had tented T cells, but because I'm a bit tall, that's not unusual or something. So I think that might be true. Probably too much information. But let's assume that a T cell is a type of cell. Then the phrase "a bit table," not much is a bit, food is table, and that shares, the T is not repeated because it's shared by the phrase "a bit" for not much and the synonym for food, table, and that would give habitable, okay to occupy. Right, let's go back here. Oh, no, this isn't embargo. Please don't be embargo, because I thought of that and I don't understand why. I'm going to put embargo in. I'm going to see if I can work out why this could be embargo. I will shackle. Introduction of merchandise. Oh, I is ego. Oh, it's brilliant. It's brilliant. I thought of this, but it's so... Until you write it in, I defy anybody to just go, oh, it works like that. Right, more Latin. I do know that the word ego is synonymous with I. It's the Latin word for I. So we've got ego for I. We'll shackle, so we'll surround. M, the introduction of merchandise. But not is bar, as in bar none. But and then if you stop trade, you do embargo. So there we go. Embargo is right. Embargo is right, not embargo. And now what on earth is this? What may contain mild defect? What may contain mild? It's beer mug. Oh, what? How can you not? How can it? You see, I don't drink enough beer to think of mild as being a beer. But if you're a beer fanatic, I'm sure what may contain mild is probably how you read the clue. Just go, what may contain mild? Beer mug. Done it. Don't even have to read the rest of it. Well, that's not how I thought about it. But mild is a type of beer. So beer mug is the answer. I don't know why yet. Defect, nothing more for Spooner. So mere bug, a mere bug is a defect, and nothing more, mere bug. Swap the first bits around, mere beer mug, and that's what we need to contain our mild. So 3 down. Possibly unable to start a fire without peer. Matchless. Oh, good. Easy once we were on the right line. So if you don't have a match, you can't start a fire. You can't start a fire without a spark. So matchless is what we need there. What's this? Syrah? A type of wine, isn't it? Sarah? Retired woman? What? What's laid back and unfeeling? Heartless? Taking diamonds off. Retired woman. Okay, let's put Sarah in. Why is it that? It's not that, I don't think, but let's just put it in and see why. What's laid back and unfeeling? Taking diamonds off. Retired woman. What is going on? What's laid back and unfeeling? If something is unfeeling, it's heartless, is what I want to say. But that hasn't got a D in it. And there are other synonyms for diamonds, like ice, you might see that. But it hasn't got ice in it either. Retired woman. Oh no, that's the garage. I don't want to take that, because... hang on, how do I make it go to... I'll try and make it go to... I don't like stopping in the middle because I just think it's yeah. Hopefully I'll get a voicemail, and it won't be good news. A covering letter would fit at 14 across. One badly wants to keep butterfly enclosure. An enclosure in a letter would be a covering letter, wouldn't it? One badly wants to keep butterfly. Ringlet. Is a ringlet a butterfly? A coveter. Oh gosh, that's so hard. It's brilliant, but it's hard. So somebody who badly wants to keep something is somebody who covets it. Coveter. That keeps a ringlet must be a type of butterfly. It's probably the only one I didn't mention. Literally the only one. Okay, so what's this? Farmyard. Clarkson's land. Oh no, I was close. It was Jeremy Clarkson. Female army for soldiers. Plough. Ard. Oh gosh, that is a... Yeah, I think it's a word you might get in Scrabble. A-R-D. I think it is a word for a plough, an old word for a plough. I'm definitely not changing farmyard. Let's have a look at ard. A primitive plough. Oh, well, that wasn't on the tip of my tongue. Good grief. I mean, it's a brilliant clue. I mean, once you sort of think I could write that clue, you just have to do it, don't you? Even though it's lunacy. Right, so we've got Sarah, or whatever this is. I mean, that can't be. It could be a consonant, like C or T or something, but it just doesn't feel like it's going to be. I think it's going to be Sarah, but I don't know why. What's laid back and unfeeling, taking diamonds off retired woman? What's laid back and unfeeling, taking diamonds off retired woman? Is that... Oh no, I don't think I have got a voicemail from the garage. Thank you. I've got a text message that says thank you. Let me just see what that says. Hang on, I have to put my password in. Ah, okay. My car will be finished at around 2ish. That's good. What time is it now? Maybe it's 12:15. I might have finished the puzzle by then. 11 across. Why is this Sarah? What's laid back and unfeeling, taking diamonds off retired woman? I mean, there can't be a word for diamonds off. See, the way I read this, what's laid back and unfeeling? If there was a word that meant laid back and unfeeling, that had a D in it, that I could retire, so I could reverse, and then the whole thing would be the name of a woman, which I want to be Sarah, because it's the only word I can think of that fits. Hard means oh, as. Is what synonymous with as? Probably is, isn't it? I think if that's right, if as is synonymous with what, then as is laid back, and then unfeeling is hard. You could be hard-hearted, couldn't you? And that takes its D off. That's retired to give us the woman's name, which is Sarah. I mean, it's very difficult, but it's probably right. And that just leaves us with this nonsense. Now, is there some sort of... an ecu was an old European coin. Assigned this originally. Assigned. this originally? Latin as agreed. If an EQ, well, I don't think this is right, but let me just play with this idea. Edge of pound D, coin EQ, decus. I know there's a denarius, that's an old coin, and as AS is an old Roman coin, I think. I think it's like a hundredth of a denarius or something. But that would give EQ, then assigned, and then this originally, I want that to be T at the end, the original letter of the word this. So I would need to come up with is that a 10-letter word, S, or a 9-letter word? I think it's a 9-letter word. A 9-letter word that means assigned. It's possible there is such a word. Okay, and if that was a Latin word, that would be probably E, wouldn't it? So set would be if you assigned something. Oh, hang on. So maybe I've got this wrong. If you assign a task, you would set it, wouldn't it? Qua? Is this... In Latin, is it qua or something? As agreed. Decus et. But anew for originally ANEW. No, I mean I'm pretty sure that is not a Latin ending. Decus et. You see, this originally Latin. This originally would still be T. Latin. The Latin word for as, is it ut? I feel like it is. Decus et, and then agreed. A blank E blank. I'm wondering if it's the whole. It's sort of an and lit, the whole thing. Edge of pound coin assigned. It's probably. Have I got a pound coin? No, that's cheating. I was just thinking, it's not the thing that you read round the edge of a pound coin, is it? I bet it is. Yeah, I think it is. I think there is a phrase around the edge of a pound coin as a Latin motto, and it's going to be this. And I don't know what it is, but I think this whole thing is an and lit to that. So edge of pound, coin might be EQ, assigned set, this originally T, Latin word for as, I think is ut, could be wrong, and then agreed. Agreed. What's this last bit? If I could come up. Agreed. See, I'm so bad at Latin endings. I don't even know what this is likely to be. Agreed. Decus. You see, it's more likely to be something to do with Deus, isn't it? God. Like, I know that the Times abbreviation is something like Deo Amon Duat or something. Decus et tutor. Decus et tutor. Tutor nonsense. Tutor. It's ludus. It's lunacy. I'm not giving up. I refuse. I just refuse. I'm sorry if the video's boring, but I'm sorry. I don't know what else to say. Having to decode Latin nonsense. If something is agreed, it's A-OK. It's a deal, isn't it? It's a wrap. Agreed. Agreed question mark. Is that just referring to the fact that the whole thing's an and lit? It might be. Tutorlem or something. Decus. Oh, is it going to end in... Maybe it ends in S. Tutares. Decus et Tutares. Why would that... As agreed. Oh, I mean, maybe it... It's not a B at the end. It's not a C. I don't think it's a D. I don't think many Latin words end in D. Don't think. Probably doesn't end double E, F, G, H, I. Could end in I, but probably not E, I. J, K. I don't like any of those. I don't like L. M. Tutarum. Maybe. Tutarum? I don't think it doesn't feel right. N then. I don't know. Doesn't seem likely. P, Q, R. No. S. S I quite like. Do I like S? Do I like T? T could be tutar. You see, Latin as agreed. I quite like that. My brain keeps coming back to this. Decus et Tutaris. I think it's wrong. Obviously, I think it's wrong. I don't understand it either. I don't understand why agreed would be ours. But I just can't think of an... I think I'm a bit tired now as well. I can't think of a four-letter word, A blank, E blank, which means agreed in English. That doesn't end in... I mean, even if it ends in D, I mean... Decus et... Maybe I should think about this letter. I mean, Tutares feels like a Latin word. That could be a Latin word. Decus I'm less confident about than Tutares, actually. Coin. Is a coin an ecu? Are there any other coins I can think of I could put in? It's going to have to begin with a vowel. There's nothing coming to mind. All right, I mean, should we put it in? Let's put it in. Submit without leaderboard. Thank goodness. I'm pretty sure it's wrong. How wrong? Oh, there we go. Is there E wrong as well? Is that saying? I got close, didn't I? That's really disappointing. It's really disappointing. Tutarmen. Amen. Agreed. I could have got that. Amen. I didn't think of it. Oh, that's appalling. No, no, no. Agreed. Amen. It was totally doable. Oh, that's unforgivable. Oh, no. Oh, goodness. Well, that's so annoying. Look, and it is. It's the inscription on the milled edge of the British £1 coin. And earlier on a coin of Charles II. What does it mean? It doesn't even... Oh, an ornament and a protection. What? I mean, it's lunacy. It's lunacy. But it's lunacy I could have solved, actually. I very nearly did. I didn't really believe at the end, frankly, that I was on the right lines. And because I didn't think of amen for agreed, I think I'm cross with myself, as you can tell. Oh dear. It wasn't much of a masterclass, was it? A moron class, more like. Okay. Well, it's a brilliant puzzle. even though they should never ever have these Latin phrases in the puzzles anymore. I mean, so many brilliancies. It wasn't a pangram, was it? I don't think I saw a J or a Z. But it was a super... Oh, and I never understood P, did I? I forgot to check that one. And no, I don't understand that one. So somebody will have to explain that one in the comments. But let's have a quick go at the quick cryptic and see if we can redeem ourselves. No, I mean, I can't. I won't be able to redeem myself. Unless I come first, I'm not redeeming myself. And that's unlikely. Anyway, let's have a quick go at it. Here we are. If the internet works. Misjudge interest you. I'm struggling. It's underestimate or something, maybe. Let's try these. Leading upside. Noon in non-residential day centre or something. I don't know. New diamonds found in hoards scattered some Rhondda Valley. Is it? I think it is Rhondda, like that. Not make up one's mind to pinion criminal. Sit on the fence. Suggest, I'm going to say imply, towards the back. Yes, FT again. Make a mistake with simple task. Errand. Say so, I can see. I'm just going to put that in. Tipster, yeah. Dresden, nice. Gold Rush region over there. Yukon, isn't it? Yeah. Oh, that could be day centre still. What's this then? Board welcomes all willing to learn. Oh, come on. Teachable is, I think, what we're being asked to do there. Keep and give something, not everything away. Stop meeting. Keep. I don't know, actually. Kite, perhaps, was in the air, we hear. Other flyers may be sick of it. Don't know. Disorderly mix. Farrago? Yeah, I think that is far right. I think it's that. I think that's the spelling. That could be day centre still. Impressed by way of. Compete for ball. I don't know. Pay for indulgence. Treat, I think. Relative has a name for being grubby. A little snow initially formed flake is the answer there. I could type it. What's on hand to deliver a nasty blow? Something mitten. I don't know. Oh dear. Kite maybe. Bird. Bird flu. That's a nice homophone there. What's that one? Rev, you dreadful peeping Tom. Voyeur? Oops. Voyeur. Keep. Stop meeting and give something, not everything, away. Stop meeting. Keep. I don't know. Knuckle duster, that must be. Some sort of a cryptic definition or something. Stop meeting. Keep apart? What's that one then? Slight tweak. I want that to be tweak. Yes, that's correct. What's that one? Vineyard crew, presumably. Relative. Unclean. That's a nice clue. And that's going to be struck. Yeah, compete for the ball. This is day centre then. I think. I'm not sure. Noon in non-residential care. I mean, it must be, I think. I'm a bit worried about day centre. I don't understand it. It's right. 15, that's awful. 136 though. I mean, how do you do 136? I couldn't type it that quickly. Chloe Hutton as well. 147 is so clever. And not clever by me. Goodness me. What was day centre about then? Noon. N, probably, in non-residential care, ? Oh, is it? Oh, I see. It's like the day centre is in the centre, the very middle of the day. Okay, no, that's fair enough. That's fair enough. I was looking for wordplay. I was looking for things to do with letters, and I should have been just thinking about things in the round, and I got a bit hung up. It's a very nice puzzle as well. Teasel, that one is by. So it's nice to say thank you to Teasel for a nice, quick cryptic. And I'd love to be able to say well done to whoever created the actual cryptic. What was it? Decus et Tatamen, or yeah, it was no Tutarmen, T-U-T and amen, Tutarmen, Decus et Tutarmen, to you all, whatever it meant. Thank you for watching. If you enjoy these, please do drop a like. Please subscribe. We would really appreciate it. This is our quest to get to 1 million subs. It starts here. And we'll be back later with another edition of Cracking the Cryptic.